Hello, my name is Corey Gerard, and I'm back with another religious discussion. I got to tell you, it is incredibly late at night. Yes, it is the wee hours of the morning, but it's pitch black dark. And I usually don't do videos this late, but there's some things I had to get off my chest. You notice when I'm out and about and when many of us find ourselves out, we may run into somebody occasionally who's passing out religious texts or documentation from any particular religion. Just say it might be Jehovah's Witnesses, it might be Christianity, it might be Yahweh or Yahweh, it might be the Hebrew Israelites, it might be Scientology. But you get my meaning there. And then, if the people do not come off as being threatening or aggressive, then we tend to stand and listen to what they have to say. Because many of us are curious and we do want to know the truth. Because, in the back of our minds, we think that regardless of what we were conditioned to believe and what we were brought up to know, which is true as told by our parents, and as such, then it's still doubt in our minds as to, hey, is this actually the case? Is it any validity in this? Because you're like, hey, all these people from all these different religions, they sound very, very intelligent too. And then their religious documentations or texts appear to be eloquently written. So it raises doubt in your mind. Now, if somebody approached you on a quickness talking crazy talk about all types of weirdo stuff, then you'll be like, hey, I don't believe that person. In fact, I want that person to get out of my face. I want to get as far as away from them as possible. So, but with religions, and as there being varieties of them, we do not have that, I would say, luxury to be able to distinguish who is talking crazy or which sounds crazy and what not, because many of it sounds very, very intelligent if you read it, and the people that are trying to instruct you on it, which I believe is a conversion process on the spot, they are very intelligent too. And that's how they use people to, I would say, get people or persuade people to come their way, is by sending very, very rationally speaking, intelligent people out there. Because no one is going to go along with a crazy person, especially if they are in their right mind. Now, if they are crazy and another crazy person approaches them telling them like crazy talk, then they are in agreement. Because, hey, well, this person is crazy, I'm crazy. So, hey, they're like me, we're two birds of the same feather. So why shouldn't I flock with that one? But if you're a sane, rational thinking person and somebody comes up to you, and we are very intuitive and we are very, very interested in where someone else might be coming from regarding their perspective viewpoints on any particular matter that interests us. And religion has to be the number one thing. Like, just say religion and faith, the afterlife, like all of that connects to one another and ties in. Because if you choose the wrong religion, then you don't feel like you're going to go to heaven. And then sometimes, some cases, if you feel you chose the right religion, you might not be completely living by it, as that religion has laid out guidelines, instructions for you to follow. So you still might feel like you're not going to heaven anyway, but you know, we want to feel like we got it right, nevertheless. So where I'm going with this is, many people believe many things as far as religious practices go and perspective viewpoints on those very things, because usually they're taught by rationally thinking people that knows how to convey their meaning off clear, and they will make it undoubtable of a fact. Now we know that there are parts of the world where there are extremist controlled places that force people to believe what they want them to believe against their will. And now in those such cases, those people that are forced into it can't possibly believe that that's the way. And they can't possibly believe that a God would seek to control his people that way by forcing them into something not of their choosing. Yeah, a major thing about religions in general is you're not gonna know for sure if it is right. It's like you going with a gut feeling, you're going with faith, and you're going with hope. But do any of us and many of us really believe that our religion is the right one? I believe that there isn't a single person that can say 100% that they believe that their religion is right, beyond any doubt, with any, like, to say with any of a slightest removed from that, because it's, we look at the state of the world. There is so much cruelty out there. There is so much injustice out there. There is so much inequality out there. And then we sit back, a rational thinking person will sit back and say, wait a minute, I'm going to just say disregard all the religious beliefs and practices. And at the same time, factor in all those religious beliefs, practices, and so forth. And then look at everything that's happening around. Like, you see so much bad news every day, everywhere. And then, when you look at the global population being 7 billion in excess, then you will come to know that 70% of it is poor, and it may be 30% middle class and 1% is wealthy. So, like when you meet atheists and Scientologists, that's why they don't really factor in religious beliefs into their principal beliefs in general, because they like, wait, it's 2 billion Christians, 2 billion Muslims, hundreds of million Hindus, hundreds of million Buddhists, and then look how much injustice happens out there. Look how many poor people that are struggling and suffering. Then they're like, all these a lot of these controlled settlements that's governmental are being controlled under Christian state or Islamic states. So people such as atheists and Scientologists would be like, if those people were so religious and believed in what they claim to, then why would they let all those people suffer when they could simply wipe everything away? Because just say back in the day, if the Roman Empire could build aqueducts thousands of years ago and funnel in like clean, fresh drinking water and all types of fresh water for purposes of growing crops, cleaning, drinking as such, then those places can do that now. So why wouldn't they, and why won't they? So, when you look at people like atheists and Scientologists, a lot of the religious community would be like, "Whoa, those people they're in a cult. They're crazy. They're Satanists. They're nuts." But those type of rational thinking people are looking at the whole world in a way like, wow, if y'all claim to be so religious, then why do y'all allow all these bad things to happen? And why do y'all take part in bad things? Or why don't you, as an individual, and most individuals, take it upon themselves to make that change for a better, as well as help others around them? It's a fair question if they ask that. And there's not too many rational thinking people that will be in disagreement with that. Now, I'm not saying that they're wrong or they're right. I'm just saying people are entitled to their opinionation with as much, I would say, logic as they can add it, as well as truth. If it's this kind of religious, I would say this kind of religious perspective, viewpoints as a whole of society, then it should be more like a utopian society rather than a counter-utopian society. Well, that was something to think about. Thanks for joining me this late for the lesson.